So over the last several days, pretty much every news outlet you can imagine has covered the story that YouTube is censoring the LGBT community. But I'm here to tell you the problem goes a lot deeper than just one group. And the changes that are being implemented, whether it be from Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, across social media sites, should concern every freedom-loving individual under the sun. But going back to this recent story about censoring YouTube, there's a feature called restricted mode that you can actually turn on at the bottom of the page on YouTube. It's meant to censor controversial content for kids, but also a lot of businesses use it, schools, universities use it as well. And so some people started freaking out because they realized that if they turn this feature on, then a lot of LGBT content started to disappear. But it isn't just them. I mean, here's my channel and what it looks like normally, and here's what it looks like under restrictive mode. Because apparently gaming news is very controversial, and so 99% of my content is blocked. And I mean, you can go search any other gaming channel, and what you'll most likely find is that it isn't just me. Pretty much everybody's content has been blocked, or their channel's been blocked in this restrictive mode. Now, I can understand some of my videos being blocked if they include vulgar language or violence on screen, controversial topics for kids, things like that. But I mean, if you've been following this channel for a while, you should know that a lot of my content doesn't have any of that. And so it should be suitable for children if they were wanting to watch, although most of my audience is usually older. But YouTube also doesn't tell us what would cause this, or that it was even censored in the first place. You wouldn't even ever know it unless you went and looked at it. And so there's definitely a problem and a divide between what Google is trying to do and the content creators. But my biggest concern isn't even about this mode. Right now, very few people probably even use this, but the bigger issue I see is that right now hundreds of companies are suspending their advertising on YouTube because the Times recently put out an article saying that Google has failed to crack down on extremism. And so they went to all these brands saying, hey, your video showed up here under this video and that video. And they say that YouTube is pretty much a home for tons of hate preachers, homophobes, racists, extremists, and all of that. Google has already responded saying that they are about to crack down on what sort of content they allow on the site. And already sites like Twitter have been banning numerous people, and they're also silently censoring others without telling them. So you may have a Twitter account, you may post tweets, and your tweets may not even show up to other people. They may not be searchable because you've been shadow banned. But again, they don't tell you that you've been banned or censored. It's just like you just have to figure this out on your own. But the problem is some of these people, at least in my opinion, they weren't involved in hate speech or extremism or anything of the sort. They simply held and voiced different opinions. For years, social justice warriors have been begging social media companies to censor people. If you remember, not that long ago, there were some actually from the gaming community who went to the UN asking that there be changes made to the laws to censor some people. I mean, social justice warriors have been winning as far as this battle is concerned. They may not be winning in the court of public opinion, but they're not interested in winning debates or winning hearts and minds. They're interested in control. There's a reason why pretty much every social justice warrior has their comments turned off on major videos, because your job is to listen. It's not to debate or to have a discussion or to have a different opinion or different thought. Your job is to listen to what they have to say. But I got to tell you, people, you do not want these corporations in charge of being the moral authority. If you want to ban people for calling for riots or attacking individuals, harassing other people, that is something I can get behind as far as not being tolerated. The problem is whenever people find that if their feelings are hurt, then that is something that should be dealt with and censored, because a lot of people, at least the extremists, want to ban those who simply have opposing ideas and different thoughts. I mean, I've seen people labeled as extremists, Nazis, hate speakers, simply because they believe that their country should enforce the immigration laws that have already been written. They weren't calling for anybody to be deported because of their race, sex, or religion. They just felt that it was unfair to others who have, paid thousands of dollars and spent years doing it the legal way, and that the system really shouldn't reward those whose first act in the country is to actually break the law. Whether you agree with that or not, somehow even holding this opinion is a hate crime to some people. Let's say you're not a religious person. You think religious people are dumb and backwards and yada, yada, yada. But somebody says that they are religious and that they hold the opinion that gays shouldn't be allowed to marry. Now, again, whether you believe in that or not, is it a hate crime for somebody to think that and to also publicly announce that that's what they believe and that's what they think? Is it a hate crime to simply hold different views that you don't agree with? Again, they aren't calling for gays to be thrown off buildings or burned at the stake. They simply hold a different view when it comes to policy. If you don't believe the wage gap exists between men and women the way that some organizations portray it, again, whether it does or doesn't, is that sexist now? If you don't approve of some of the tactics of Black Lives Matter, are you now a racist? And should that be banned if you speak out against that group? It's going to be a very slippery slope if we start letting corporations decide what thought is permitted. And again, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. You can be right down the middle. You can be extreme left, extreme right. I would hope that everybody is at least for being on the side of free thought and debate. Because usually in the free market of debate, good ideas win out. Because if we start censoring one group, the whole system is going to collapse. And it isn't just content creators who should be worried. I mean, you as the viewer should be worried, because if you're doing a search on something and you're only able to hear one side of a debate, how can you truly be informed? How can you truly be getting all the information that you need? And that's what we're moving to, I think, at an unbelievable pace. It's unbelievable that the internet, which is supposed to be the free open market of exchanges of ideas and thoughts, is being attacked as hard as it currently is. Remember, it wasn't that long ago that YouTube made it so that you could report videos. And I can't tell you the number of times that I've seen in the comment section of some of my own videos, but oftentimes a lot of other people's videos, where users will claim that they've reported the video and it was simply because they didn't like it. The video did nothing against the terms of use. It wasn't vulgar. They just simply didn't like the opinion. It's a very small group of people who are doing this, but they're the ones who seem to be speaking really loud right now and who seem to have the attention of all these companies that are coming down hard on censoring free thought and expression. And again, I want to make a clear distinction between having an opinion about something, and then definitely hate speech and calling for other people or groups of people to be harmed. They're not the same thing. But far too often, we're seeing stories pop up where people are being banned and censored, and it wasn't because of hate speech, it was because of the wrong thought. How is having a different opinion and sharing it with people dangerous? Truth is, it's not. But banning those people with different viewpoints and normalizing censorship in the name of politeness, that is extremely dangerous. That does it for me, the Red Dragon. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.